year, but how do you find that balance between creating pressure to of immediacy without feeling like it's panic?
I think we view this as a huge opportunity. 3 home games for us to not only kind of find some confidence again and some stride, but also obviously to get some more points, get back on that train. So I always try to look at it in a positive way, right? If you look at it as a must-win game, then that's added pressure. There's already pressure, always, every game we put pressure on ourselves. But if you look at it as an opportunity, maybe that's a bit more of a bright way to look at it. But it doesn't make it any easier. I get that. We're gonna have to earn it. We haven't played against New York in a long time, but they're an aggressive team. They press very, very high. They're hungry. They try to cause turnovers. So it's gonna be a difficult match.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you get excited to play somebody new?
Good question. I think, yeah, it's weird that we haven't played them since 19?
Yeah.
I feel like that will be maybe good opportunities when we have those new tournaments come in. Maybe you kind of change things up a little bit and have a couple of games against teams that you haven't faced in a while. Philadelphia or Montreal or New York like this. So, but yeah, it's exciting. I welcome the challenge because we do watch obviously most recent games of teams and then we look at previous encounters as well. But when we haven't encountered them in a while, then it kind of goes out the window and you kind of have to see how they've been doing. Obviously also some changes in new coach as well, so that kind of changes a few things for them. So, but yeah, it's exciting and maybe that's what we needed, is something a little bit to get you off your toes and to get us back on a winning train.
High pressing teams, how important is it just to stay compact and then when you get the ball, get that pass to basically turn the team over and create an opportunity?
I think first we have to recognize when it's good to play and when it's not. And then I think instead of staying compact actually on the ball, we have to stretch out. We have to really create as much distance as possible and as much ground for them to cover so we can spread their press out, because I think they press with about 6 players or 7 players. And so if we can really spread them, whether that means we're spreading them vertically or horizontally, that's for us to then find out how we're able to create holes, and then we have to find those holes. But I think the first and the most important step is to recognize when to play and when not, and that'll be a challenge tomorrow.
First 20 minutes last game, y'all had including the coach, y'all had a tremendous start and if something happened. What's the messaging around we got to stay with what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we watched some video today and we went a little bit further back of games where we did things really, really well, and it just proves to you that we have it in this locker room. We have the quality. We have shown that at times when we have really high energy that we can make opponents very uncomfortable, and I think maybe that's what's been lacking a little bit at times, is where we've been possessing the ball, but we haven't really made the opponent too uncomfortable at times with set possession or set press. So that was really nice to see, but it doesn't really change the identity of the team, I don't think. Whether you have good games or bad stretches, I think you have to believe in the way you want to play, the way the coach wants you to play, and you have to you keep staying together and trying to move forward.
You're part of a veteran group. Obviously, there's been a lot of players with some lack of experience coming on and playing on, but how do you balance regaining some of your veteran players now coming back onto the field and continuing to impress those younger players to continue to support you guys during practice and even though they'll be taking a step back?
I think it's always important to have an influx of a mix of veterans and young guys, young and exuberant. People that don't really have too much knowledge yet, because sometimes when you've been, when you experience and you've been in situations, you approach things a bit more timidly and a little bit more conservatively, and so it's really nice when you have young guys who don't know that yet and can bring that exuberance to the field. Having said that, it's tricky when you have players who've been starters for a long time and very important players and come back from injuries. How do you incorporate them back in, because they're wanting to play, they're upset about having missed time, whether it is due to injury or something else. So that's I don't envy our coach for having to navigate those situations, but I think it's always important to have a good mix, and I think we do. We have some young guys who have shown that they're very, very capable, and for them now, take that, if they make it back onto the bench or out of the 18, take that experience that they gained and apply it in whether it's an S2 game or in training, pushing harder and harder. And that's all good. That's all good things for the team.
Is that kind of the
Last couple for Steph, guys.
opportunity you're talking about when you get that mixture in terms of the young guys or the veterans, and then how it helps the overall team?
Yeah, I think so. Because you never want to have no competition. You never want to have, and I think that kind of comes from if you have all veterans, but one's a clear starter, then there's no competition there, and everybody's just coasting. But I think we're having some positions where there's some young guys that are really trying to ask questions and make it difficult for the gaffer, and then these are good situations. These are good for the team overall. It really puts players in uncomfortable positions, but that's how you excel, I think.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother.